There you go. That's what I was outlining. So this will be me just tape reading price and trying to show you what I think price is going to do. I'm going to show you what I like in price now. So we have formed a buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. We're using that consequent encroachment as support. In addition, 2 consecutive down close candles here. The opening price here, that is a bullish order block. In addition, we have another buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency here, which you can see it's closing above that. So I'm very confident that price doesn't want to go lower. And on top of all of that, we've already reached our daily objective here, which was a daily high, which we've hit overnight. So we've already worked that area. And what we have left is this higher time frame 4-hour inefficiency. And so I like this here. And so we'll tape read this. Our stop loss, I want to put just at that fair value gap. Of course, I'm going to be doing a full pull to that consequent encroachment. I might take some partials as soon as we hit the lower quadrant. But this is the framework that I'm setting for a low risk, high probability setup because of everything I've already outlined here. But what I don't want price to do is go below this bullish order block. 2 consecutive down close candles here, opening price. In addition, we have a buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. I would want, if it reprices down into this, I want to see that consequent encroachment be respected. I would not want to see it trade through that. And I'm using this as a breakaway gap. Down close candle and a bullish bias. So once it leaves that, I want to see how it uses this down close candle. But more importantly, this area here is what I want price to respect. Alright, so we've traded that. So I'm gonna move my stop loss and look how price is becoming a little more problematic to trade through this lower quadrant here. Look at where the bodies are closing. Look, right at that lower quadrant. Now we want to see, does it have a willingness to trade through that lower quadrant and go into consequent encroachment? Because if we can get a candle closure above that lower quadrant, we're going to hit that consequent encroachment. But right now, this lower quadrant is becoming a speed bump for price to trade through. Look at that. So remember, we removed our risk and we still took a profit on that stop loss, covered commissions. But look at the logic here. Look at where my partials were. We didn't get a single tick closure above our partials. These are the levels that the algorithm uses. And it's very important that you're aware of what price is doing and how it can become problematic for you. That's the most important thing. Look how quickly it's rejected this. There's an order block here. So when you're watching price, you have to look at PD arrays and how they're being respected. You have to watch how the algorithm is using these levels and these PD arrays to deliver price. You can't just pick out a random PD array to trade because you're going to get burned. That's why tape reading is so important, to help you frame a narrative of what price is trying to do, because it's going to do what it's going to do regardless of what you think it's going to do. And that's the difference, and that's the underlying lesson that I think a lot of traders don't understand. In addition, I'm watching this wick here, because remember, wicks are gaps in the market. So I'm watching that consequent encroachment of this wick here. Now I'm watching this opening price of this down close candle here, which is exactly at that lower quadrant here. So I would want to see this lower quadrant be used if it trades back down into it as support. So I'd want to see price repel away from this lower level now, since we have closed above it, and trade right into consequent encroachment. I think this is where a lot of people would get frustrated, expecting a specific level to be delivered to, but you just have to bend the will to what price is doing and just trust that if it's still supporting narrative, which it is, I'm still fully expecting this level to be delivered to. So in simple terms, I just want to be trading within this little range here. See, now that, I don't like that, because we did close below that lower quadrant. So now we could expect price to come back down into the range, and we'll see how it uses the other PD arrays to right back into the range. Like I said, we have a down close candle, quickly rejected that. Also took a short-term low here. So again, my last line of defense is the consequent encroachment of this wick here. I wouldn't want to see it go any lower than this. But again, we're still closing above this level here, so I'm still in favor of higher prices. I understand how it can be frustrating for many to be watching all of this consolidation, you could say, because if I still had a trade on and my stop loss didn't get hit, I would 100% be still in the trade waiting for this level to be delivered. But I can understand how frustrating it can be seeing the retracements, the consolidations, and the actual time that it's taking for price to reprice to into consequent encroachment if it decides to deliver. There you go. That's what I was outlining. That right there. Consequent encroachment delivered. So again, watch how it traded above it again and was using this lower quadrant as support. Look how the candles just so happened to close right at that level here and not go below it again. And so I understand how all of this can be very, very frustrating, and that's just what you're going to have to work with a lot of times. But using the logic, using the PD arrays to still support your narrative, that's what's important, and being aware of what can become problematic and what signatures can start to show an unwillingness to go to a level that you've outlined or a narrative. And so here, honestly, it could just close right here, and I could expect just completely lower prices now because we've delivered into that consequent encroachment. So this is a little side note, post editing. Look at how it used that consequent encroachment to drive price lower, which is further supports that these levels are in play within the market. And if this doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. But for the time being, now we've traded above that consequent encroachment, so now I could expect a full gap closure of this inefficiency. But isn't there a logic here that's clearly being used? Tape reading price like this helped me trust that there's something more going on that the general public don't know. And it's all on ICG's channel. I understand that it's not easy. It's not 1, 2, 3, do this. There's a lot to it, and you just have to submit yourself to be able to learn and practice, and that will help you be able to read the tape, read the price, build the narrative. That's very important, and that's what I have outlined for you today. And so I really hope that this was insightful, and until I do this again,